Alright, I know y'all see the title and probably think I'm crazy, but I'ma need y'all to have some faith and hear me out. Yes, I'm talking about the same Orochimaru that murked a Kage, then got another Kage sent to Tobirama, then was performing witchcraft in the honey pack experiments on corpses of people he got clapped, all while preying on the multiple 12-year-olds so they could be his servants.
FBI? Him. Come on, there he is! Yeah!
But luckily, this is not an exposed vid. Today, I am here to defend my client, proving that while he is a predator slash freak, he is also a victim to the highest degree. And since we were just speaking of those 12-year-olds, we start the case off seeing Orochimaru literally salivating over like an 8-year-old Itachi facing forward, acting like he watching the Ice Spice music video, when he was actually watching him put on a kunai masterclass. And that was all the motivation he needed to try and finesse the system. Bro saw an Uchiha one time and completely changed the trajectory of his entire life. To some extent, you gotta respect the dedication. But by finesse the system, I mean, yeah, he just started murking people and playing with the bodies, leading him to then get caught in a lab by his future body doing his gas station pill experiments. But honestly, right here, the anime does this no justice because, bro, look at what this man was actually doing in there. Got people stripped either to they boxers or butt booty naked, looking just as happy as can be, like Tony Stark before blowing up a poor country just to flex. But since he got caught, he got no choice but to get up out the village. So there's only one place left for him to go. So now we have Orochimaru as the newest member of the Akatsuki, meaning that now he'll never get a chance to deal with Itachi. Oh wait, hold on. Oh, he joining too? I guess murking 99% of the bloodline would do that for you. As we see the king himself walking up, flexing that Sharingan and getting Orochimaru bricked, realizing Itachi is now the newest member of the toughest group in anime, which means they walking up some stairs where of course Orochimaru was in the back doing his best Hisoka impression before losing all self-control and inevitably whipping out his snake before pouncing around the 12-year-old, leaving him face to face with the extremity of this freak. And looking at it, you should be like, dang, his hands are tied, can't use genjutsu because he looking the wrong way, and Itachi not no bitch, so he definitely not finna start crying out for help. Guess bro's cooked. He even just standing there looking like he done accepted his fate. Like me seeing Corey Kenshin post 3 times in a week. I already know he leaving. As Orochimaru says that he's about to take his body so he can see what the Uchihas really working with. Until suddenly, that Sharingan loads up and Orochimaru's eyes go bloodshot. As we then see him just mid-step frozen in place like he playing red light, green light, with Itachi just looking down as calm as ever, like he been dealing with predators his whole life. It's just another day at the office. Before we see Orochimaru pinned up with stakes all up inside him, leaving bro shaking. I guess that Uchiha meat whip until we come back to still see bro hitting this smirk like he got some master plan up his sleeve as he start bringing them hands together, except nope. Enjoy this foreshadowing, buddy. You don't need this no more. Giving them the Sasuke treatment. Ironic. Before Itachi tells him, hey, you can keep trying that weak shit all you want, but I'm not Jiraiya. I'll have you on your knees quicker than Bubba from Cell 9. And that marks the first instance of Orochimaru getting absolutely victimized by a way tougher and cleaner character. But to further prove my case, since we just brought up Jiraiya, why not pivot to the best and strongest Sani while we here? Miss Tsunade sends you herself, aka the GOAT. And unlike Orochimaru, she doesn't like kids for predatorial reasons. Meaning when he comes flying in trying to send Naruto to his parents, after packing up Jiraiya by the way, she doesn't hesitate jumping in front of the sword, taking it right through the chest, leaving Orochimaru sitting here hitting the worst arch possible. But I do see the vision as it pans down and we see he has an absolute marvelous view of the infamous 106, showing me that in some instances, perhaps he does know ball, until he pulls out of her standing up and rewinding this freaky ass tongue all the way down his throat. I can't imagine how much practice it took for him to do that so effortlessly. But either way, Tsunade wasn't going for it as the images of everyone she cares about come flooding in, giving her that will of fire stab boost as she starts to stand up, giving Orochimaru no choice but to whip that neck back, slinging out his sword and slicing her across the breasticles, sending her into the dramatic fall to the ground backwards animation, looking like she just got sniped before plopping to the ground, cooked. leaving nobody between Orochimaru and Naruto, as he loads up again, coming right down on the Tsunade, who clutched up yet again. She must got some of that MJ DNA, that goat to goat connection. But right now Tsunade looks back, pissed, getting Orochimaru tight as he stomps her to the ground, hitting the Yamcha. And beating up on a woman while trying to murk a 12-year-old got Orochimaru feeling crazy, talking that shit. As Tsunade lays here realizing what she must do, as she gets that flashback of me, instantly making her stop shaking as Orochimaru realizes and eats a sweet chin music, putting him 10 feet in the air like he catching a LeBron lob before he go drifting down in the dirt. As he go back to her loading that ugly ass Byakugo seal, looking like they asked Psy-Freaky ass to draw it, before Orochimaru hits a 360 standing up and we get the face off. Granny versus Predator. Before we see her put them hands together, charging up like she finna go Super Saiyan God, as she heals back up, getting in peak condition for the fade, until she wipes some of that hepatitis C and the meat riding commences. As suddenly we see all 3 Sannin doing summonings, bringing out the beast, before Manda goes speeding in and tying up Katsuyu, letting him set up like he finna gobble Tsunade, knowing that's my job, before Gamabunta comes gliding in, airballing the stab with his micro sword, looking like it got performance anxiety, as Manda chomps down on it, giving Tsunade and Katsuyu no other choice but to bust and run away to try and form again. As Gamabunta continues to get pressed by Manda, who literally equipped his sword from out of his hands like they playing co-op, before he launches it, making Gamabunta hit a slow motion dodge as it lands right in front of Katsuyu. And this is when Jiraiya goes into freak mode, telling Tsunade to stay back, as he brings out the oil combined with fire, cooking this snake like Katie at the lunch table. Except of course, it was not the real Manda, as he comes storming in from underground, getting his tail blocked as his head pops up behind Gamabunta with that mouth wide open, finna get some juicy frog meat today, until out of nowhere Tsunade comes flying down with the sword and goes straight through Manda's face, pinning his sneaky ass into the dirt. And that's what the fuck I'm talking about. Ghosts really do ghost shit. This man Jiraiya could never. And this gives Orochimaru no choice but to show her what that tongue do, as he sends it up, wrapping around her neck on some absolutely diabolical levels of freakiness, before he then says, "I've always wondered what it's like ringing that pretty little neck of yours." Or in other words, I've always wanted to choke your fine ass. And since she got no chakra, she might be cooked, because we all know Jiraiya not finna do nothing. Except we see her slide that hand in and slowly free herself up before she grab on that tongue like a rope, because honestly, your tongue being this size is indubitably insane. As she starts yanking, pulling bro off his feet and into a beautiful left hook clean to his face, sending him beaming down. Except she was not satisfied, as she pulls him back up, sending bro into the ozone layer like he looking for pops, until she pulls up, airballing the first swing, then getting a smooth 4-piece combo like a kid's meal, making him hit the "Ooh, that brother's floating," till she kick his ass right back down. Except instead of letting bro get cooked by fall damage, she catches his tongue, which for some reason is still not back in his mouth, as she pulls him back up again just to airball the right hook that would have had him on the right path to God. Bro was this close to meeting the Holy Ghost, leaving her sitting here fighting for her life like she having an asthma attack. And even while hanging from his tongue after getting his ass beat, Orochimaru still down here talking crazy, making her snatch him up and rock him back down before she pull up, spamming that square button, going crazy on the controller, as every punch perfectly sets up the next, making it seem like she finna get the acclaimed 99 hit combo before she loads up the finisher, smashing bro's face in, knocking the soul out of him, sending him free falling down, taking that Black Widow trip down to the Uchiha meet and greet. Except of course, he wakes up like nothing happened and goes skedaddling off, with Tsunade hawking his ass down. Shit, I wish she chased me like that. Before she jumps in front of him and he activates that Ultra Instinct, putting on a miraculous display of weavery, until she closes the distance, finally connecting on a clean 3-piece, putting bro in the air again. You think this man could fly all the hang time he getting. But of course, naturally, he goes back to the tongue, sending it around Tsunade, who is up in the air, ready to hit him with the fatality. And if y'all look close enough, you can see what he really put his tongue out for, as he snatches her up, then jumps forward, and we see the level 99 throw skills come into play, as he even brings the sword out with his tongue already out, trying to hit her with the Madara special, but she catches it with her feet, then just slings bro away before rocking his shit before he get even ready back up, leading us into another punching montage of Orochimaru just eating licks to the face like white people with their dogs, until she connect an uppercut, sending them up and then right back down. Like, golly, bro, what kind of durability do this freak got? I wouldn't have been able to last 3 rounds of her. He going like 15. But I guess it don't even matter anymore, because we see her walking up doing hand signs and loading up that chakra, ready to finally finish this man. And just look at the dog in her eye as Orochimaru stand here just shivering his timbers. This is a fake demon. But she pulls up on him and hits his ass with a punch of audacity square on the chin, sending him flying into and off the sword and head first onto Manda, making Kabuto go crawling over to check on his daddy after once again being victimized. Which, ladies and gentlemen, leads us into our final act. Even though there is more, but we can save that for some other time, because it's time for the prince himself to make an appearance, following in his brother's footsteps, as we see Orochimaru in bed chilling, looking pathetic, just sweating all over the place like Kabuto just finished with him, as Sasuke realizes that it's time. But that's when Orochimaru start coughing crazy like he caught whatever Itachi got. And of course, Kabuto, being a good boy, goes out to get his daddy some medicine, leaving poor little Orochimaru in here all by himself. But honestly, what could go wrong? As we see Sasuke go slicing through the ghost of his brother before walking out the room. But he probably just going to use the bathroom or something. The only thing we should be worrying about is Orochimaru in here fighting for his life, as the last bit of time in this body is waning down. But then he looks up as a Chidori spear comes through the door and into his wrist, before the door gets repeatedly sliced and then bust open, revealing the prince himself here to end this shit once and for all. It's finally time for the get back for the hickey this freak gave him way back in part 1. So he takes no chances loading in the curse mark and activating that Sharingan. But hold on right there, before we get into that, look at this man aura farming for absolutely no reason. Bro looking off into the distance like it's something over there, bro. Nobody called your name. This really is one of the founding fathers of this aura farming shit. But anyway, then he goes walking up telling Orochimaru that he can't hang with him no more. Your hooping days are over, Your knees backwards and you about as fast as Luca. Just accept what I'm finna do to you and move on. You know, I thought you were strong back in the forest of death, but then I realized, why come after me when Itachi was right there? And that's when it clicked. You had to come after me because you couldn't hang with the big dogs. And so where did that get you? Right here in front of me, at the mercy of the one person you thought could save you. As he goes jumping up, pinning him to the wall and going straight for the throat like it's a first date. Except something comes flying out and we turn around to see this giant freaky ass dry snake looking like a damn demon staring right at Sasuke. Like, bro, how was this thing just living inside of you? Please make it make sense. This man gotta have a portal to Freakland in his throat or something, because no way he's storing this long ass tongue, long ass sword, and this big ass snake in this 135-pound body, bro. I refuse to just breeze past it. But Sasuke just looking up like, bruh, is this what you look like? Shit, I want to change bodies too. Until Orochimaru comes charging in, throat first, getting dodged, sending snakes off his body that go up and get turned into some deluxe reptile sushi. Before Sasuke goes sliding back, getting pressed by more of them that also all join the menu. Before he just like, alright, enough of this. Putting his sword away and starting to strip. He know Orochimaru might fold for a little show, as the snakes start wrapping around him and Sasuke goes all the way in the curse mark too, before getting trapped inside the snakes, just accepting his fate, until it just explodes, sending chunks of snakes splattering everywhere, trying to copy Naruto's inside destroyer technique, as we see them nasty ass wings make an appearance, like this situation wasn't ugly enough as it was. So then Sasuke goes jumping over snakes and parkouring off the wall before bringing out that old reliable Chidori spear, as he jumps up again, getting a 10-for-1 head combo like a Riley Reid special, leaving Orochimaru back here in disbelief. If he knew that was possible, he would have targeted Kabuto. But then he goes charging at Sasuke, drilling out the mouth and everything. He couldn't wait for bro to take his shirt off. And I hope he enjoyed the view while it lasted, cause next thing we see is bro splattered on the ground, cut into more pieces than LeBron got losses in the finals, as Sasuke just stands there looking down at his victim, or predator, before he starts slowly going back in the base, having the nerve to say, So that's it. Sounding like your girl whenever you pull down your pen. Until we see bro just drop down to one knee like he's saying a prayer, and this weirdo Orochimaru over here laughing like a crackhead, cause his whole thing was just a part of his sick little games. As we find out, his bodily fluids turn into gas and start to numb you when they hit the air, meaning Kabuto done went through this probably dozens of times, unless he just always swapped, leading bro into a full-on self-glazing session, just stroking his ego, before he lines up and goes devouring Sasuke, putting us into the world of guts like this berserk, with Sasuke standing there just as confused as me, until we see something start rising up and we hear Orochimaru say that this is the universe inside of him, already scaling him over One Piece, where the body transfer ritual takes place, as he starts to show himself and giving Sasuke one last look at the tongue that left a mark on his neck for years, before he starts getting taken over by the surrounding snake guts. And we even see his former victims in the background, still here for him to play with whenever he's bored, I guess. And Sasuke just sitting there accepting it, looking like, is this serious? Before we see this freak start inching his way over, not able to contain himself with the sight of a 15-year-old. And speaking of that, we go check on Kabuto, who notices that door is gone, meaning his glorious king might be in trouble. And instead of running in and pressing the issue, this guy runs and crouches beside the door trying to be sneaky, like we wouldn't have heard them loud ass footsteps anyway. Let that have been Tsunade in there, I would have blitzed my ass right through that door. Yeah, I might have caught the same treatment her brother did, but she gon' know I died a real death. But anyway, as he's sitting here peeking, he sees the prince himself just standing in the middle of the room with his daddy snake laid out on the ground. So since Orochimaru not here to tell him what to do, he starts sweating, shivering in his boots, until Sasuke looks over, calling him out, giving him no choice but to show himself, as Sasuke goes walking him down. Except instead of pressing the little guy, he just walks right by, not even wasting his time with him, letting Sasuke get off a smooth ore farming clip. And you know that's what they trying to do, cause they gave us like 4 replays of bro just walking by, like bruh, we get it. But to add on to it, Kabuto finally works himself up to ask, who are you? Giving Sasuke a perfect opportunity to turn around with the signature smirk, telling him all he needed to know. But just to be sure, he lowers that Sharingan and gives him front row 4K seats to see it for himself, as he watches his master fiend for another man, until we see the curse mark activate and spread onto the guts, turning them into straight black like we in the Cloud Village, before we even see the snakes go pouncing at Orochimaru, with Sasuke just looking down at him in the most nonchalant way possible. I swear, bro really do be thinking he me sometimes, as the whole universe start getting taken over, before it pans out to these demons behind them, looking like they fresh out of Sweetie's derriere, leaving Kabuto absolutely traumatized, before it goes in, giving Orochimaru a taste of his own medicine, getting a good lick of that freaky ass face, until eventually the feces goes in and finally finishes off his victim. And with such a momentous shift of the predator scale, the whole world has no choice but to notice that one of their biggest threats is gone for good. Right?